God. Why am I saying that? Sometimes we are in a season in our life and it's like, what am I doing here? Like, why does God have me right here, right now? Why does God have me with this job? Why does God have me with this group of friends and other friends are falling off? Why is God putting me in circumstances and situations where I don't necessarily care to be in, or that wasn't really my goal, or how did that manifest, right? And what I've learned this year is that a lot of times God is putting you in a particular short, tiny season to prepare you for what you actually are supposed to be doing for a longer period, for a longer season. Okay. So why am I saying this? What am I talking about? So this year I've just been in these positions and predicaments where I'm like, this is cool, but I didn't really sign up for this. Or, you know, I met this person, now I'm a part of this opportunity, but it's not really like my life goal, life purpose, life passion, right? And especially when you're in a position where you're like, I'm really trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. What is my passion? You know, what you've calmed your life down to a point where, you know, you're not going out, you're not drinking, you're not smoking, you're not hanging out with the wrong people, you're not hanging out with people that are not necessarily the wrong people, but just people that are your you know, energy sucking on you. You know, you've stopped watching the Netflix and picked up a book. You've started to have more of a ritual or spiritual practice, or some kind of practice where you have a foundation for yourself, and you're like, I feel like I'm doing the right things, but like I'm now maybe I'm getting opportunities, but it's just like, it's still not it. And so what I've learned from that experience this year is that there's still things that you need to cultivate in your life. There's still things that you need to learn. There's still things that God needs to perfect in your life. Help you become an expert in certain areas in your life, because the real thing you're going to be doing is around the corner, but you still have to be fine-tuned, you still have to be trained, you still have to be put into certain situations where God's going to test your ability to have emotional maturity. God's going to put you in a position where he's going to see, okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of access here, I'm going to give you a little bit of opportunity that most people don't get here, I'm going to you know, put you around a certain crowd of people that most people don't have access to, but what are you going to do with it, right? And so sometimes your passion and your purpose is still working on you, and you're ready to work on your passion and be in your passion and your purpose and be making money at it, but God's still pushing you, you know, putting you in different positions to still see if you truly are where you think you are, right? Like, to prove to God, like, okay, God's like, okay, I know you have the talent, I know you have the ability, but like, let me give you a couple hints and glimpses, and let me see what you do with that first. Okay, so for example, like this gala that I did, that you know, if you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me, I didn't really post a lot about it on YouTube, but head over to my Instagram. If you click the link in the description, you can be taken to my Instagram and you'll see some of the gala on there. If you go to the Reels section, more of the gala is in that section. And so I didn't necessarily sign up to be, you know, running a gala, like throwing a gala, right? Like, that wasn't really my outfit was kind of doing a malfunction there. You know, I didn't really sign up to be the head operating lead manager for a gala. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. This is an interesting experience. I didn't really sign up for this. This is not necessarily my goals and my aspirations to be like someone that really throws events. Like, it's cool. I've been a part of things like this before, but I'm like, this is not really my thing, you know? But I was like, this is a cool opportunity. It's kind of fell into my lap. It's for an amazing cause that I really, really do believe and sign on to. So I was like, okay, you know, let me go along with this. And then now on the other side of it, I'm like, okay, there's things that God needed to awaken in me. There's things that God needed to reveal to me. There's things that God needed to show me, certain talents that needed to be revived or reawakened. Nothing really completely new, but there's just some things that I was like, wow, I forgot that I actually was good at that. Or wow, I actually forgot that I'm great at, negotiating those kind of things. Or wow, I'm great at building relationships or networking, or, what the array of different things that I learned about myself. I don't want my ponytail to get smushed. So, I just got put in a position where I was like, I think now when I reflect back on that whole situation, because it was just a very, very, when you're throwing a gala, it's very exhausting. And so, especially when there's so many moving parts, you have to really tap into several things: your multitasking skills, your speaking skills, your time management skills, your, all these different things. And I just was like I didn't manifest, I didn't think I was manifesting being the head of a gala. I'm like, why would God put me in that position when it's not really a desire? I'm just kind of indifferent about it, right? But then now I'm like, oh, there's some other opportunities that came from the gala that now I'm stepping into and being a part of. And I'm like, oh, that's what I needed to do. I needed to be in position to meet that person because they saw me moving a certain way and working in a certain way, to now they want to sign me on to certain other projects that I'm a little bit more aligned with. And it's bringing out more talents and helping me learn and be trained in some other areas. And I'm like, that's why I was a part of this gala. And so sometimes, and I'm sure there's even more, that is going to come out of that experience of, now I can put that on my resume that I've now thrown a gala twice. I have two events under my belt with throwing a gala. So who knows why I might need those skills, right? So, in the future, again, in 5 years from now, I'll look back and be like, oh, that's why, So I just wanted to let you know, if you're in a position where you're like, it's not like you necessarily don't like where you're at in life, but you're like, this isn't really it. This isn't really what I was asking for, God. I thought it was something else, but you're on the right track. Just stay the course, stay focused, keep your head up, and just start to look at what is it that you can gain from this experience, even though it's not your ideal experience, but you're here and God put you there and you're actually doing a pretty good job at it. So just maximize where you're at for that season and just operate from putting your best foot forward, because really that's what you're being tested on. So for example, when I was being the lead of this gala, I met a lot of people really, really talented in a lot of areas that I was learning from, even though I was basically, when I say the lead, I just was in charge of holding everybody accountable. It wasn't like I brought everything to the table, right? But I'm really good at managing a big moving parts and making sure that things are running on schedule, if that makes sense. So everyone had their talents that they brought, and I just was making sure we were all moving in the same direction, kind of I don't want to say herding sheep, because they're herding leaders, making sure all the leaders that were in charge of the great things were all moving in the right in the direction together, right? So I'm like, okay. It reignited some of my district manager skills, but I'm like, I can either go about this a couple of different ways. I can be resentful of dang, I'm in this position. I kind of don't really care to be in charge of a gala, but now I am, so I'm gonna just kind of get through it. Or I can just own it. I'm just gonna own it and just show up and just be like, you know what, I'm about to just put my best foot forward and just nail it and just see what comes out of it. Be present in the moment, network, build relationships, come up with ideas, come up with the collaborations, bond. And so that was the route that I took. I decided to take more of the route of being extraordinary. And why I say extraordinary is I'm gonna really, really go hard. If it's a circumstance, a situation, if there was something that needed to be written, if there was something that needed to be sent, if there was a project, a small project within the bigger project that needed to be handled, I just went full throttle with it. I gave my extraordinary energy to it, right? Extraordinary or extraordinary, like not just ordinary going through the motions, like I put that extra on it, right? Like, so because I did that, when I was working at the gala, like while I'm in motion, right? So like the gala day is here, I'm in motion, and there's people watching. You never know who's watching you. You never know who's watching you. And so because I just was doing my best for myself, I just was like, you know what? I'm just going to put forth my best effort. And not everything's running perfectly. Not everything's going great. But overall, people are happy with how this is going overall, right? Of course, a lot of areas of opportunity. Maybe I'll get into that in the future. But someone saw me moving how I was moving, and they were like, I want you to be a part of like what I have going on. And so now there's like another portal open of like other opportunities that I'm going forward with. And so, and it's closer to like where it's closer to the arena of like what I'd want to be doing. So it's just cool to see how God works, like when you just trust where he has you. And again, I don't know what you believe. I'm just God's religion. I'm God's, I operate from God. And so if that's the Christian, Muslim, I don't know, Buddhist, whatever it is, I'm here for all of it. I was raised with a Christian foundation and with the Sikhism foundation, which is, I don't know anyone. If you are someone that went through that experience as well, please let me know in the comments so we can link up and talk about life, because it was a very, very, very interesting experience going to a church growing up and then visiting my dad and going to a Gurdwara, okay, or going to the Darbar Sahib. Like, it's just, I don't know anyone else with this experience. So what I've learned is that God is just doing what God does in every path of life. So I've seen God work in people in my life that follow the Christian path, and I've seen God work and do amazing work in people that follow the Sikhism path. I've seen God do amazing work in people that follow the Mormon path. So just so you know, when you guys are hearing me, and the reason why I'm talking about God a lot more is because that really is where I operate from. And I've really refrained from like talking about God, but I do have a relationship, a very, very deep relationship with spirit, with God, with I do believe in the fact that you can manifest your reality, and the fact that we are made in God's image, which means that we can speak things into existence through God. God sees our heart. God knows, and ultimately too, God knows what's best for you. So maybe even if you feel like, oh, well, if I can just manifest, I should just be able to manifest X, Y, and Z. Sometimes those things don't work out because that's not the path you're supposed to be going down. You might be operating from the ego. So not to switch the whole energy on the topic at hand, which is, at the end of the day, if you are in a position in life right now where you're kind of okay, you're not super excited, but you're kind of okay with where you're at, but it's not really what you want to be doing, just put forth your very best effort. Be the best, employee, be the best entrepreneur, be the best person when you're going into a meeting, be the best person when you're shaking somebody's hand, be the best person when you're writing that email. Like, everything you touch needs to be your excellence on it. And when God starts to see that, God's like, okay, cool, you're ready for the next, And you can even think about it practically too. I mean, the better you do, the more you put forth your best effort, you are going to reap the benefits of that, So, but I do operate, sometimes just to help me get through some things that I don't want to be doing. I just think about like, okay, God has me here. I'm healthy. What am I supposed to be learning? And I'm able to like work through moments where I'm like, this kind of is like, when I can put it through like, okay, this is God's path for me. This is God's mission. There's a bigger mission, over here that I'm supposed to be doing. That's what helps me. And so that's why I'm going to be talking about spirituality as it relates to health, fitness, and mindfulness, because that's how I roll. That's truly where and how I'm able to be where I'm at today is through a spiritual lens. I'm talking to God. One thing I do really, really well is I start off my day with a ritual, with my morning meditation and prayers. but I have to do better, like praying and talking to God throughout the day. I think that's where my biggest area of opportunity is for the rest of the year. I'm going to really focus in on that, and just not only segment it into the beginning of the day. It's God's an omnipresent, omnipotent presence, and so He's always available. You know, He sees my call coming in on the call log, on the caller ID. He's going to pick up every time. So I don't know who needs to hear that, but just pray with what's the term, the phrase, pray without ceasing. It's like that's what I need to be doing. So anyways, just want to let you know that. Just want to drop a line. Make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe, make sure to tap in with me. Not all my videos are going to be in the car, but lately, again, I'm just transitioning with some career stuff right now, and this is just the only time I'm able to hop on YouTube, which I love. It's one of my favorite things to do, is make videos, but they're in live form at the moment. So but yes, definitely tap in with me. I post a lot over on social media. I think as I gain more subscribers, I'll be able to post stories and things like that on YouTube, but I'm a lot more active on Instagram because I just have more capabilities because of my followers over there. So yeah, also I am still on my INNO SUPPS, so that's how I got my hair is flourishing. You know, still with my workouts, I'm still hitting my workouts really well. My strength training went down, but I was never not active. So I was still doing walks, I was still doing cardio, I still was on my Peloton, but as far as like heavy weight training, I'm now getting back into it now that I can get back on my routine. But to help me out with that, I am still taking the INNO SUPPS products. So definitely click the link in my bio to tap in with that, or my bio. Tap the link in the description to check out INNO SUPPS. You do get 20% off when you use my code EMBODYPURSUIT. Make it easy for yourself. If you're looking for great supplements, they have everything. They have green juices. They have stuff to help you out with your energy. If your energy's feeling low, they have stuff to help you burn fat. They have stuff to help you with vegan products. If you're vegan, they have stuff to help you get your protein in. They have stuff to help you for mental clarity. They have so many things. So tap in, click the link in the description. But yes, I will definitely catch you on. Oh, also too, another thing, I am going to be starting to do one-on-one coaching for anyone that is interested, in anyone that feels like I can help them in a particular area in the framework of health, fitness, and mindfulness. I really do feel like I do have a great blueprint to get you on the right track when it comes to health, fitness, and mindfulness, and just jump-starting yourself. Or if you feel like you fell off the wagon a little bit, I can help you get back on the wagon. I can help you rearrange and organize some things in your life to make it more seamless and easy. Like, that's what I'm really about, is ease and flow. Sometimes we make things a lot more complicated than they need to be. And if you just set up a couple different systems and methods in place, things start to work on autopilot for you. So I can help you out with that. So just look out for that. Let me know if you would be interested in something like that, you know, or if you ever did want to book a session with me, some things that you'd want help with, you know, definitely comment down below and let me know. I'm very curious to see what you guys need help with. So tap in, make sure to like the video, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.